Good morning, family. I wanted to come on here this morning and talk about faith. We are saved by grace through faith in Christ alone. We are not justified by works, nor are we kept by works, nor are we saved by works. We are saved by grace through faith in Christ alone. There are over 200 verses in the New Testament, if I'm not mistaken, about faith. And some of these are very significant. Galatians 2:16, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ that we might be justified by the faith of Christ and not by works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. So I wanted to give these in honor to those who still believe that it's grace plus works, or they can get by with their works. That's not going to work at all, because without faith it's impossible to please God. And we come to Him by faith. We are saved by the blood of the Lamb. By grace are we saved, through faith in Christ alone. This is why we have to come here, or especially me, on this channel. I've dedicated this channel to the Lord and getting people out of the bondage of legalism and bringing them into the light of grace. It's grace through faith in Christ alone. It's not works. It's not anything that you can do to conjure up your salvation. That's the only way you're going to get to heaven. That's the only way you're going to be raptured. It's by grace through faith in Christ alone. Not water baptism, not a whole list of legalistic jargon that you need to get saved. It's believing in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. By faith, we receive that in Christ alone. 2 Corinthians 2, or 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 4:13, we having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed and therefore have I spoken. We also believe and therefore speak. It is by faith. Galatians 2:20, I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave his life to me. It is by faith. Romans 3:25, when God hath set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood, to declare the righteousness for the remission of sins that are past through to the forbearance of God. The cross took care of your past, present, and future sins. Therefore, Romans 8:1, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. The Pentecostal Church, the Catholic Church, the Mormon Church, Seventh-day Adventists, Word of Faith, all in that Pentecostal area, they will tell you different. They will tell you that you have to speak in tongues, that you have to get water baptized, that you have to do a whole host of other things before you can get saved. And they will put a spirit of fear in you to make you think that you are going to hell if you don't do these things. That's their MO. That's what they do. They control your mind and make you think that you have to work for your salvation. Oh, and another one, Jehovah's Witnesses. They're big on works. I have 2 sisters. I am the baby of 5. My mom and dad had me. I'm the only one they had together. So my sisters were my half sisters, and my brother's my half brother. 2 of my sisters are dead. They died. One died last year. The other one died this year, who was a devout Jehovah's Witness. The one that died last year of lung cancer, she wasn't saved at all either. The other one that died this year was a devout Jehovah's Witness. And then I have a third one that is currently dying from Parkinson's disease, and she's a devout Jehovah's Witness. They're both dying. My mother can't understand what's going on. And I try to tell her over and over again, it's a spiritual battle. They are not saved. They don't know Jesus, nor did they want to know Jesus. Matter of fact, before they died, they said that they have divorced the church and Christ. That's pretty bad. The Lord told me to call my one sister before she died in June to tell her, to witness to her. And I did, and she never talked to me. She never called me back. About 2 weeks later, she died. Nobody knows what she died from. The doctors can't even determine what it was. When she died, now keep in mind, the Jehovah's Witnesses are taught that there is no hell. They're taught that they will do soul sleep. They're not taught of hell. It's a totally false doctrine. When she died, her mouth was wide open to the point where the doctors couldn't even close her mouth. The funeral home had to shut her mouth, had to sew it together. And right there, she was in a state of shock because her soul went straight to hell. There's another one, my oldest sister, who's dying as we speak, who's also a Jehovah's Witness. You can't witness to her now because I prayed for her, but she's